Let's talk about iPhone street photography. What defines street photography is that you're taking photos in public of other people that you do not know. That's the essence of street photography. Now, a lot of photographers are worried about taking photos of other people in public because it seems like you might be invading the privacy of other people. And I can certainly understand that viewpoint. However, as a photographer, I know why I'm doing this. I know what my intentions are. I'm doing this because I'm trying to capture beautiful moments in ordinary, everyday situations. Now, besides the ethical implications of all of this, another thing that a lot of beginner street photographers are worried about is getting caught. And honestly, I don't think this is something you should be worried about. Over the years, I've captured literally tens of thousands of street photos. I've taken so many pictures of people I don't know. And in all these years, there has been one time where getting caught led to a somewhat unpleasant exchange of words. But most of the time, absolutely nothing is gonna happen. The most common response you're gonna get is that people might just try to not walk into your frame because they don't want to ruin your photo. If there is an interaction that starts, your best defense is just being polite, smiling, and explaining to the other person what you're doing. You can also offer to show that photo that you've just captured to the person. You can offer to send that photo to them. Or if they're not happy with what you're doing, you can offer to delete the photo. It's a little bit scary to get started with street photography, but once you've started, it's gonna become really addictive and you're gonna really love the kind of photos that you're gonna get. I'm gonna start by walking down the stair just a little bit, and I'm gonna take a shot of this beautiful staircase as I'm looking up the stairs. Follow me. If I frame up a shot like this, then it's all about that symmetry, and that creates for a really powerful architecture image before I even have a single subject in the frame. If I want to get the shot with people in the frame, I think there's a really high chance that a lot of my subjects might choose to walk more towards the left or more towards the right, especially since I'm standing right here in the middle. So if I frame up the same scene horizontally, I have a better chance of capturing a human subject at the exact right spot. So I'm simply going to stay here and I'm going to wait for people to walk through the frame. This never happens instantly. If you do this once and if it doesn't work out the first time, that's to be expected. That's okay. With street photography, your success rate is going to be relatively low. So you'll be taking a lot of photos that you'll need to discard, but in that process, you'll get to a few really good ones that will be the keepers. Okay, there's this woman walking up the stairs. I'm going to take a lot of shots using burst mode. As she's going up, I'm going to pan my iPhone up and let's see what kind of shots we got. So this image right here really works out well because of that perfect symmetry. So not only the staircase and those tiles are symmetrical here, but also that woman is standing exactly in the center of that staircase. So I like the shot, but actually in that same burst, there's another image that I think is really good, and that is this shot right here. And what's really working well here is that she's wearing a white top and she stands out against the dark background. And actually, I already know that a lot of these images are going to be black and white when I edit them. So having a dark subject against a bright background or a bright subject against a dark background is really going to work out well. That way, in black and white, my subjects are going to really stand out in these photos. All right, so I've now walked just a few more steps down these stairs. And if I now frame up this image, you're gonna see that I have two sets of stairs in the frame. I am starting to lose those tiles at the top. And that is unfortunate because I really like those glass tiles. However, from this vantage point, I get a lot more of those stairs in the foreground. I like how they're symmetrical. I like how those steps just keep repeating. And now all I need to do is wait for someone to walk up or down these stairs. Okay, there's a woman walking down the stairs now, so I'm gonna quickly activate burst mode, and I'll keep taking shots as she's walking down those stairs. I think this one really worked out well. You notice that the woman is positioned right in front of that door to the left. You can see that she's just taking that step. So this is a really dynamic moment, and I think I was able to successfully catch it because I was shooting using the burst mode. Okay, so now we have several people walking down these stairs. So once again, I'm gonna activate my burst mode. Right about here in that burst, those two women, for a brief moment in time, they were positioned perfectly in that frame. But again, this moment didn't last long. When you're taking street photos like this, you'll be looking for a single human figure in that frame. If you get multiple people, especially if you have a small crowd, that's not gonna work out so well because there are gonna be too many people. It's gonna be a messy shot. It's not gonna be clean, and your subjects aren't gonna stand out as much. But we're not done yet. Eventually I'm gonna get lucky and I am gonna get that clean composition. There are more photo opportunities literally right here. So let's see what else we can find. Now the thing that first attracted me to this staircase were those glass tiles on the opposite wall. They look absolutely stunning, and they have some light shining through them. So I think they could potentially make for an incredible background for my street photos. So I'm hoping to create a kind of shot where I'll have those tiles in the background and my subjects will be walking in front of those tiles. If I want to get that kind of shot, I have to be shooting from a lower angle, and that's why I'm sitting right here, right at this spot. So if I frame up the shot in my iPhone using the 2x lens, you'll see how much those tiles in the background stand out. All I have to do is simply wait for the right person to walk through the frame. There's a woman coming from the right, so I'm gonna activate burst mode, and let's see what we got. What I really like about this shot is the color. So we have that blue at the top, we have that yellow in those tiles at the bottom, and finally, the hair of the woman is just a little bit orange, and that orange actually gives a third color to the shot. So I'm really happy with how this image turned out. And the interesting thing about this location is that it's actually not a pretty place in a conventional sense of the word, but to me as a photographer, this place is truly a dream for iPhone street photography. And while I could probably spend all day here and not run out of photo opportunities, I think it's time for us to move on. So for the next part of this video, we're gonna head outside and we're gonna see what kind of street photos we can capture there. All right, we walked outside the train station and here we are at our next location for street photography. So I've picked this location because it has really strong urban geometry. Another reason I like this spot is because I can stand here at the top and I can be taking photos pointing down at all the people who are walking in and out of the tunnel. That means that I'm going to be less noticeable, and because of that, I'll be able to get those candid shots more easily. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I've already framed up the shot, and you're going to notice that I have some really strong, really powerful geometry here. I have that staircase coming down from the left-hand side. Opposite of that, there's the other staircase that's coming down from the right-hand side. The entire foreground is filled with this floor that has that beautiful checkerboard pattern. And all these things together create really strong geometry where all the lines in the image are leading towards that furthest part of the scene. Now, in terms of framing, another thing I have to keep in mind is the top of the frame. Above this staircase, we have some other stuff. So we have another building there, we have some trees, we have another street, but all of that doesn't really enhance the image. In fact, it's more of a distraction. What I'm gonna do is carefully frame out everything at that top, and all I have left are essentially the strongest elements of the scene. There are a lot of people down there, and that's good. That means I'm gonna have subjects in my street photos. If those people can align themselves in the frame in a way that looks pleasing, that's gonna be perfect. But if I have too many people and if they're kind of randomly distributed in the scene, that's probably not going to work so well. I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to wait. All right, so there's someone coming in from the left. So I got a beautiful clean shot with one person just walking across that orange checkerboard pattern. It's a shot of one person. I wanted multiple people, so that means I'm going to keep shooting until hopefully I'm going to get that perfect shot. All right, so now it looks like we have people coming from all corners of the image. So I'll quickly activate the burst. And I think I got that shot. Let's take a look. So if we now look at this one shot from that burst, it's exactly the way I envisioned it. You'll see that we have that perfect symmetry and we have that strong geometry in the scene. But then if you also look at how those people have arranged themselves in the frame, that's perfect as well. So this image is symmetrical not just in terms of how the scene is laid out, but also the people are walking in what is essentially perfect symmetry. So I'm really happy with how this shot turned out. Now I could still stay longer at this spot because it's such a great place. The geometry is so strong and I never know what's going to happen next. I want to use it for everything that it has, and I'm going to see if I can find another angle from which I can take more street photography photos. All right, so here I am at my next spot. Let me frame up the shot and let me show you what this location looks like. You can see that staircase, it's leading up, and then it kind of goes towards the left, but you don't really see where that's going to lead you. And that adds just a little bit of mystery. You're wondering, where does that staircase go? And if I can combine that with the right kind of subject, I think I should be able to create a really interesting photo. There's a lady coming from the left, so maybe this will be the moment I was waiting for. Let's see. All right, she's walking up, so I'll get those shots, shooting with burst mode, and let's see what we got. Now, if you look at these images we just captured, they're actually really interesting. As an older woman who's carrying a lot of bags, she just creates for a more interesting image. She adds a bit of a story to this message. It's a story of an old age, it's a story of hardship. This is the kind of image that has huge storytelling potential. So I'm really happy with how that worked out. Let's see if we can get another shot. I'm thinking that maybe if my subject was positioned just a little bit more to the right, not right next to that wall, that would be a different composition. It would be a different shot. So let's see if that would work out. Here we have another woman walking up those stairs. I think I might have caught that moment, but just when I started that burst, several other people walked into the frame from both sides. But let's take a look. Maybe I got what I needed. So I'm going to tap select at the top of the screen here, and it looks like I got just literally 2 images in that burst with a clean composition. Now, one thing that works really well for images like this, where you're trying to tell a story, is to actually have your subject walking away from you. And that actually leaves more room for the viewer to interpret this image in the way that's going to resonate with them personally. Now, in terms of composition, I'm still standing at the exact same spot where I was standing before. But this time, my subject is positioned more to the right. So here in this image, we kind of have 2 subjects or 2 narratives that are going on. We have the woman, and we have the staircase that's leading the eye of the viewer towards the top left. So I already got a couple of really good compositions right here, without even taking a step in any direction. That's what's going to happen if you find a good backdrop for your street photos. Here I am at another spot, and this time I found this sledge, and if I'm standing here, right around this corner of the sledge, it actually gives me the option to be shooting in all the different directions. There are a lot of opportunities to take shots here. So once again, I'm going to wait until I see something, and when I do, I'm going to grab that shot. But this time, I'm not going to frame it in advance. Instead, I'm going to stay flexible, and I'll be looking around the whole time, and when I see something interesting, I'll be ready to take shots. think within that burst, I got something interesting. We had that old man with the beard walking through the scene. Let's take a look. Actually, these shots are pretty strong. I like how it turned out. All right, there's a woman in a white coat. That looks really interesting. So I'm gonna quickly do a burst. And look at this image right here. This worked out absolutely brilliant. She's wearing that beautiful white coat and that bright red handbag. And those two things really, really stand out here. This was only possible because we had that perfect subject. If someone else walked through that frame, or if this woman didn't have that perfect clothing, I wouldn't be able to capture the shot. That's luck in street photography. As people are walking past that corner, they're casting a huge shadow on that white wall, and it looks really, really good. I want to get a shot with both a person and their shadow, and I'm so glad that sun came out so I can finally do sunny street photography, which is my favorite type of street photography. Now, if I'm going to be working with shadows, and if that's what I want to emphasize in my pictures, I want to quickly change a couple of things in my settings. So I'm going to go to settings, I'm going to go all the way down to camera. At the bottom, I'm going to disable Smart HDR. With HDR disabled, I'm going to get brighter highlights and harsher shadows. So that's already good. But if I really want to bring out those shadows, I got to open the exposure compensation slider as well. So I'm going to open my hidden menu by swiping across the screen from left to right. Here, I'm going to select the icon that's exposure. So that's this plus sign right here. And I'm going to take that exposure down. And as I do that, you'll see how much stronger those shadows start to get. I think something like -1.3 is going to be a good value for exposure. So as I'm decreasing exposure, I'm really making those shadows much, much darker than the rest of the image. And that's what I want for a shadow shot like this. So I just have to wait for the right person to walk through the frame. As that happens, I'm going to shoot burst. I'm going to get those beautiful shadow shots. And it looks like I was just a little bit too close. I didn't quite get the framing right. I have that big shadow, but I'm kind of cutting off the top of the man's head. So that's not good framing. I think what I need to do is perhaps take a tiny step back, just a little bit, and go a little bit higher. As I do that, that gives me better framing. So I'm just going to stay here for a few more minutes until I get that perfect subject at the exact right place. Okay, there's a man coming from the right-hand side, so I'm going to quickly activate burst, and let's see what I captured. Now, there are a couple of things that are working in the shot. First of all, the clothing of the man. Those white shoes and those brown pants, they really stand out, and they're sunlit, so that makes them even brighter. But look at that shadow. It's so much bigger than the man, and that's actually because of the angle from which the sun is shining, and that's what makes the shot so interesting. I'm really happy with how that shot turned out, as well as all the other shots that we captured today. In order to capture some truly great street photography, you gotta be persistent. The more photos you capture, the more chances you're gonna give yourself to succeed. That's really important. You gotta be persistent, you gotta keep trying, and with street photography, you never know what's gonna happen next. But when it does work out, you'll get some truly incredible shots that you couldn't capture any other way. And of course, your iPhone is the perfect device for street photography. It's small, it's unobtrusive, and you're going to blend in when you're taking photos with the iPhone. And remember, you don't have to master all street photography on day one. Nobody does that. Instead, you want to start gradually. Start with an easier spot. That way, you can build up your confidence over time. But I definitely encourage you to try out street photography. If you do that, I think you're really going to enjoy it, and you're going to get some truly incredible shots that you wouldn't be able to capture any other way. This video was a free preview of my iPhone Photo Academy online course. In this course, you'll discover everything you need to know to take stunning photos with your iPhone. So if you'd like to take the kind of photos that will leave your friends and family speechless, please take a look at the full version of iPhone Photo Academy. You'll find a link in the description right next to this video, so click on that link right now, and I'll see you inside the full version of the course.